Hello guys, hope you're doing okay. Yeah, so, some more manual work today, as per usual. I'm going to work primarily on just getting the stitches in place. I need to figure out what resolution I need maps to be and all that sort of stuff. So we'll just block stuff out for now. I'm gonna keep the clothing fairly procedural, so I'm gonna mostly work by creating ISO masks. But we'll kind of see where it goes. So I just need to update a chart. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, so I'm going to just make some ISOs today. I'll test out using the roller brush to make these. Obviously our displacement is quite low resolution. I don't think it's worth doing fully, so I'll keep this res, maybe. We'll see how well it handles everything. In terms of cleanliness, I think I'm going to try to keep these stitches following topo lines, because I have topo lines following all the areas where stitches would go anyway, and that might help us with the cleanliness of the displacement. But if that doesn't work, then we'll just put it in bump, because it's not worth putting the polygons high enough to put this on, unless I was to make a separate geometry just for stitches, but I don't think that's really worth doing. But yeah, so we're just going to get into Maya. Export these guys, which I've already pre-selected. Again, these aren't final models, but our UVs aren't going to move around, so we can start texturing and just transfer back and forth as we need to. So I'm going to create a Alembic cache, although probably an OBJ is better for what we're about to do. So let's export selection, go to modeling. In fact, I need to go to texturing. Texturing, Mari, temp exports. New folder. Models. Clothing. V001. Cool. So let's go over to Mari. At some point I still need to transfer all the maps from Wrap 3. It's so tediously slow, but I will do that before the end of the project. I tried to transfer stuff in Mari, but for whatever reason, I think it's a tech issue on my side, it just would not transfer it. Like, it was crashing, it was maxing out 64 gigabytes of RAM, and it shouldn't really have been doing that, so I feel like I've done something wrong behind the scenes somewhere. But yeah, anyway, let's go into our objects menu. I'm just going to add a new object, and then go to our D drive, projects, personal work, Mari, Mona, texturing, Mari, models, clothing. Okay, there we go. So let's create a Arnold material. I cannot do what I use the high res, but we're not going to bother about that yet. So let's just super quickly set up some stuff. In fact, I just remembered I need to check. What's his name? Sec. There we go. Second. There we go. Right. Hey, John Doe. How's it going? So, let's get this up. So, I'm just going to set up a extremely basic material. About there, let's say. Reflection, I mean, I don't think I should really have any, but I'm going to have it there anyway. But extremely dim. That's more for the sake of viewport. It just is a little bit easier to work with for me. I can kind of see the forms a little bit better. I'll probably increase that a little bit. Yeah, it feels better to me. It's not how it will shade actually in the renderer, but it just is a bit helpful. Can't remember if we have like a big progress amount. I see. Yeah, she's getting there, piece by piece. Right, so I don't think we have sheen in the viewport, so we'll leave sheen alone. Yeah, so we need to start making some channels. I'm gonna make some quick ones at the start. There's one that I need for like the trousers, for example. So let's create a channel. I think this can be a fairly low res channel. Let's do ISO. What would they be called? What's the mesh called actually? Leggings. Okay, but I guess I'll just call it leggings stripes. Back into here. Legging stripes. 1K should be fine. Scalar data, yep, that's fine. Back to Mari. Let's create a merge. A bottom transparency. And the paint node. Do 1K, 16-bit, default black. Cool. And we're just gonna call that node paint isolating stripes. Right, so we have that. Just gonna go into our UVs. Then I'm pretty sure these are the stripes I'm looking for. And these, I think. Yeah, I think it's all these. Cool, so we'll just paint white. I'm going to go in with a 1 brush, which has absolutely 0 blending. We can move this off to the side. In fact, let's see, the stripes kind of vary a lot. This is our main one, so cool. Cool. Perspective. There we go. So we've got that ISO. That'll be helpful for later, for dev. Because we're going to basically construct our color. These elbow pads, I'm still unsure as to if I'll do this as their own geometry or not. I'm debating texturing them on. Reason being is because if I've got these cross stitches that blend between them, if I do this as a separate geometry, although that's still possible, it means the cross stitches will need their own geometry. Now, it can just be a poly strip with an alpha mask on it, like a transparency map. But that starts to get a little bit messy, and to be honest, I can probably mimic the look that I want just with a little bit of displacement. So if I like paint a mask for the elbow pad and just displace it out very slightly, I could always cut in some extra edge loops or specific like edge cuts to follow that line, just so it has its own topology to support the disp. But you know, that's something we can do if we need. But yeah, I mean, this element has been quite poorly planned because honestly I kind of forgot about it. But yeah, we'll address that. But if we're going to do these cross stitches on top of it, then I'll probably use the same technique I'm using for the rest of the stitches. But that means having one continuous mesh. So we kind of got to figure out what's best. God, I really need to remove the stuff from the feet. But yeah, so we got this guy. He's all done. So let's create a new one, new channel. This one is ISO coat stitches, and let's call it coat stitches A. Yeah, just because I'm going to be, if I'm adding those cross stitches later, that can be B, because the name's already getting long enough. So copy paste this guy. Gonna go into my channels. Resize. Let's try 4K. We may need to go to 8K just because it is for stitches. Like, and it'll be the only map that's needed for that. ISO coat stitches A. You need to be 4K as well. So roller brush. I had to find out how this brush works. I actually don't know how this brush works at all. Okay, so that's working just fine. Okay, I'm gonna have to quickly Google this brush. Oh, do we need to do that? Okay. Come on. Okay, so it's in tool properties, bitmap. Cool. Let's give that a go. The asset library. I go with ID, cloth, stitch. Okay, do we need to rotate it? There we go. Such a cool brush. Right, so let's get into, let's see, create a grade. Okay, just gonna set this one to have a black point. Let's just add a lift. Okay. So now, what I need to find out, I'll increase the segments a little bit, just to make it smoother. We don't want any jitter. Flow, we don't want any flow. In fact, I don't think we want any kind of variation on there. I can distort it in the actual thing. Radius. What I want to know is, can I set the radius to be world space? Such a cool brush though. In fact, yeah, what resolution is this? If I bake that. Okay, 4K is not enough, so we need to go to 8K on this. So, set this to 8K. Set you to 8K. Where are you? Convert channel. Oh, no, not convert. Resize. 8K. I can go higher if I need to, but don't really want to. Yeah, that's good enough. Right, so let's go into... Let's do UV view. so we can do that. It's not amazingly high res at 8K, but it's high res enough, I think, to work with. So we just need to get steady stroke going. Mode, distance. There we go. Cool, so let's get a Wacom tablet. Yeah, so we're doing our second 8K map on this project. First one being the face displacement, second one being some damn stitches. There's a few UDIMs of it too, so I'll have to use some compression just because I don't want to like burn up that much memory just for some stitches. But we can probably get away with quite a lot of compression actually, just because our background is in like the actual kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like, our background will be one color. Why is it dragging out that way? I didn't mean to zoom. Can you set your brush size to be absolute? I can't remember. Okay. Not perfect, but it will do. They're different sizes. This is going to be a problem with Get, right? Is that there has to be a way to set the brush to be world space. At very least in the map color space. Oh, okay. There we go. What else? Let's just see how that looks in 3D. We can do a test run with this. So what we will need to do though is merge it over a RGB. Well, I guess constant is actually what we need. But this constant will just be green. Does it not let me... Okay, color. This color will just be green. Green at 1. So values 0, 0. Actual 0, please. Oh, it's black, isn't it? Alright. Let's delete that. Create a new paint node. So we need to set the alpha of this guy to be 0. And set it to be 8K. Cool. Paint, ISO, coat, stitches, A. Test this. Okay, so they're visibly not the same color. Oh, because this needs to be set to 0.5, doesn't it? Values, 0.5. Still not visibly the same color. There we go. Although it is raw data. Wait, does that ACES not get applied here? Do I have to change my... Because this should be raw data, so I'm going to keep the channel like that, but... let's find out. There we go. The map itself is in sRGB at the moment. Just need to set this to sRGB. There we go, that's better. Cool. So back into here, go into here. Although we don't need that anymore. Cool. Let's increase the tail on the brush a little bit. Stay about this distance and just follow that line. We'll probably remove that later, but we can do that as a separate pass. Pulls to the side quite a lot. Oh my god, that is a wild... Okay, we'll go with distance. Yeah, why is it pulling to the side there? Yeah, it's just too big of a tail, wasn't it? Again, I'm just going to colour in one area. Colour in, as if I'm a child. Ah, fuck! Can I undo? I can undo camera moves. What was the second line? Might not be the right line to follow on this side, but... Okay. Okay, between the first two. Okay, perspective. There we go. We can start doing tests with that, see if it works. Maybe it's worth doing one of these as well. Or maybe just a collar, which is this guy. That's the side that we want. Wait, where was that? Okay. Sweet. So let's do a test run with that. See how it works. So, go into our channels. Export. Let's do all channels flattened. Channel.exr. So the thing I like about texturing Mari and doing my colour spacing here is that everything that gets sent to Katana is already in ACCG. So it's actually quite easy to manage unless I'm importing stuff from other software packages. It's all kind of handled for me. Pre-converted and all that jazz. That's already done. Cool. So what we're going to do is just go in and replace the map currently driving this with a map. So there's stitch test here. Just going to grab this guy and replace him with something else. So let's think for a moment. About ZBrush displacement. Cool. Just copy that entire node. Okay. Stitch test is this guy. Cool. ISO coat stitches A. Cool. There we go. There we go. Right, so we have that. Let's just start connecting some stuff up. So we got U that was in R, U that was in B, and U that was in green. Then hit render again. If this works, then we'll start painting some other parts. See how long this takes. Again, I'm not too fond on using 8K maps, but like the stitches were falling apart at 4K, and I'm not adding more UDIMs. Like, no. That's a code stitches A. Let me just quickly go here. Is it plugged into something that I don't expect? Coat materials. It's only plugged into coat. So I can ignore missing textures potentially. Unless I spelled this wrong somewhere. So I'm just going to replace that map name with one copied from the other screen. Yeah, it didn't change. Oh, and he set this to EXR, okay. Right, that means that I need to set this to EXR as well. Otherwise it won't auto-update. There we go. So, try again. Should work this time. I think setting it to raw and ACCG is the same thing in this context. I need to like properly read up on aces. I think for the next project I'm going to try out AGX. I've been seeing quite a lot of stuff around that recently. And the AGX workflow is just sRGB linear. It's just display transform at the end. Oh. Oh, it did work. Why is the entire thing turning red then? Okay, this is in layer 2. Okay. Why is the entire thing turning red? What data have I created here? How do I create a paint node? That'll do. File, import. I'll do texturing, publish. Let's go to ISO code stitches. These are already in aces, or should be. Damn, this looks beautiful. Good job, bro. Thank you, man. Yeah, it looks the same. So why is that mixing? Why is this moving? Oh, did I have all my stuff earlier set up for... Okay, I'm gonna go into layer RGBA. Turn off this layer for now. Displacement, range. I should be displacing correctly. Missing color, set that to 1. Try again. I have to set this to raw, maybe. Still displacing. So just to leave it at auto maybe? You color pick this guy. Is this still at sRGB then? Because that value's really low. What value's this? In the red. That's quite light. Yeah, I definitely need to spend some more time understanding color spaces. So let's try looking at this guy. Let's go to do I have to set this to sRGB? Let's try. Still broken. Oh. Okay, let me set that back to Aces. CG. I'm gonna try flushing caches maybe. Missing texture color is fine. Coordinates, none of this is gonna mess with it. Oh, is it supposed to be set to sRGB texture? I don't want that though. I also just realised I said the name of this wrong before. Let's try that. But I don't want the target to be sRGB texture. Which means then I also want this guy. What was this set to earlier? Have I fucked up? Oh, there we go. That needs to set to white, I guess. Okay, so when we color pick this guy then, that should now say 0.5? It does, alright, cool, so that's what we did. That's what we did wrong anyway. Okay, so we need to repaint those. But now I know. So back to white. Okay, we need to delete this guy. Paint. And we can check. So that did work, but for the sake of color spaces being correct, I need to fix that myself. Yeah, that's all fine. Didn't realize I copied the entire thing. There we go. Plug you up here. So now what I'm wondering is, can I create a float? Constant. Okay. Don't actually need that. Okay. There we go. That's better. Alright, so back into the UV view. Go to the bottom of the neck and start with it lined up. Nope. Start with the middle. Okay. Okay, let's go there. Nope. Nope. We'll clean up edges and stuff later. Get these guys as well. Okay, and then the next one is all the way over there, right? My arm sucks at this angle. Do we want to try this? Yeah, not right now. Fuck that. Let's get that exported. Make sure it's working. Current channel. Already naces. Okay. Set you back to Aces CG. And once this is done, which it is already, okay, very impressive, hit render on this guy. It should now look correct. And it's worked. Sweet. Yeah, I knew it was a close space issue. Okay, so we can let that keep going for a bit. In fact, no, we can't. Let's put some effort in for a moment, shall we? So I'm going to do... Oh, that's a bit janky. I'm going to do this line, which is going to take quite a while, I think, but I'm sure there's a way to extract paths from Topo or something, but if not, that'd be a really nice tool I need to speak to the Foundry about, but... Like, imagine being able to, like, select a polygon edge and have it create, like, a path for this brush. That'd be so good. So I'm actually drifting from the... to the wrong thing. Okay. Next one's over there. This side's a bit janky in comparison. But yeah, this side looks a bit more broken. Probably have to repaint this section. But not the worst case scenario for do. Yeah, these UVs over here aren't very good actually. A lot of very stretched edges and... What the hell's that? Okay, yeah, I need to revisit this area. But let's just paint something in for now. We can, when we get our final mesh version, we'll go through and give it some love. Okay. I guess for these we'll go through that loop right there. Cool. keep going. We need to loop around the base of the neck, which we have on this side. Do we need the same stitches here? I guess we do, don't we? I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, we need, let's go with these edges here. I'm gonna stitch right in the middle. Okay. Do the same on the other side. Hey Zaneo. Is it Zaneo? Welcome to the stream. I think it's the first time I've seen your name here. Where else do we need to go? Oh yeah, the bottom. All of this stuff. Okay, then we need to do the back, which is all this stuff over here. Let's follow the same. Oh wait, we need to. Oh shit, yeah, we need to match directions, like brush directions. Because otherwise, the twist of the fibers is going to change on each side. Cool, yeah, just that bit there. Okay. Yeah, welcome to the streams. There we go. Where else? Well, in fact, let's stop doing that and start using this guy. Do we want to do one for the along the length of the bottom of this guy? Oh, we need to do the back of the neck, don't we? Yeah, we need to do down here. Okay. So UV. So that's up here. So. Trying to float my arm if I can. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Oh god, the UVs. Okay. Jesus. There we go. There's going to be a bit of a gap at the middle of the neck, isn't there? Oh, that's close enough. Where else needs it? Obviously we need it on the trousers and stuff as well, but... down here, I guess. Do we have it back there? We do. Okay, yes, we need it down here. Where are you? There you are. So this guy, let's go with, again, this loop here. Cool, and then it's over there. Oh, I've reached edge of the paint buffer, okay. There we go. Okay. So if we don't want a seam along the bottom of the neck, that should be all the seams for the coat. So, while we're at it, we'll get this exported again. Export flattened, export current channel. Cool. Swap out the camera that's being used. Which currently I don't have them named, so it's just test camera and a duplicate that's plugged in elsewhere. But that should be a bit further out, shows a bit more of the body. While it's going, let's create a duplicate of all this stuff. This one will be coat patches, coat elbow patches. This one can be a lot lower res. Probably just do elbow patches actually. Although, maybe it is worth keeping coat in there. Because it tells me right immediately that what it's for. The names obviously get longer and longer and longer, but I think I'd rather that than ambiguity. Because ambiguity is a nightmare to deal with. Long names, they're fine. As long as you don't pass, I think it's 256 characters in total. I think that causes issues in Windows. Okay, so let's do that. Let's create a new paint node. Solid alpha on this one, because this one's a mask in its entirety. Let's go with 2K. Paint. Resize. 2K. I'm struggling a lot. Am I rendering? I am. That kind of works. Maybe a bit bold, maybe a bit too displaced. But it is working. The boldness is really easy to fix. I like the general size of the stitches. But yeah, this was way too strong. We can change the color to anything we want, so we'll probably step it back a little bit. Because again, the ref that we're mainly working from is obviously this one, but all the other versions have these stitch marks, and I quite like them. They add something interesting. So, small detail, but the stitch is on this side rather than that side, but I'm not sure that matters too much. Elbow patches, so let's go to perspective here. Okay, just going to connect to that grid. Okay. Paint. So there's two mirror projections. So they are different shapes, but I think for now we'll keep them symmetrical. So let's just go in, use, maybe we can use the one brush on this, and use this. Wait, it's not fully solid. Go to tool properties, flow, 100. There you go. So we can use paint, bake point filters to blur it. So let's just do a quick test with that. Okay. So we have our incredible elbow pads. Artistically fantastic. Nothing wrong with these at all. So let's use a bake point filter, or bake point. 2K, that's fine. If that there, I'm going to bake that in. And we're going to add a filter. Let's add a blur. So it's like 16. Apply. There we go. So, why do that? Basically, because of an amazing thing called a grade node, which I can do in LookDev. If I create something like this, I can now go in and gamma this however I want. So I can get the exact fall off that I want. Oh hello, we got a little bit of something happening here. Oh, did I paint? Oh shit. We've been set to paint through this whole time. Okay, let's go back into this guy. Just going to keep paint through enabled, but this time just do UVs. Oh wait, we need to keep Why is this not? Oh wait, because bait point. Yep. Perspective. Okay, there we go. Reconnect the bait point. And then just rebig. There we go. So now we can go into that grade here. Gamma this however you want that. So where it is, there it is. And that just gives us a bit more control as to how it falls off. Don't want to use black point in this case, but you get the general idea. Gives you a bit more control. I'm going to reduce the white point. Gives it something like that. Just clamp that. So for now that will work. While we figure out. Oh, sorry, I just missed a message. What program is that you're using? I don't recognize the icon. So this is a tool called Mari. This is probably the most popular texturing tool currently used in VFX. We use it quite heavily at Digital Domain. We used it quite heavily at MPC when I worked there. It's a really, really powerful texturing tool. The main power of it is its flexibility, because you can paint in these like node-based ways. It gives you a ton of ways to kind of alter things, like build your shaders in here and preview it quite accurately. The other software, depending on when you sent it, is called Katana. Katana is basically it's a look dev and lighting tool. It's where you do your rendering instead of Maya or wherever you wish to render. And it's also quite a lot of fun. I need to change that displacement amount. Where are you plugged into? Uh-oh. Input 5, okay. Let's set that to half the amount. Okay. So now we've got that. Let's go to the color. LRGB, coat, col. Okay, we're just going to set this to be a darker, slightly less saturated, something like that. Hit render. Cool. So our elbow patches in there. The placement's awful, but let's just get that exported. Export flattened, export current channel flattened, channel UDIM. Again, this grade is happening after channel. Oh yeah, so that's something I can mention. So one of the reasons I really like Mari, basically because you can like layer your networks however you want, because it's a node-based texturing tool. Something you can do is have the point at which it exports be different from the point you're viewing. So basically, when you export a channel, it looks through the scene for these nodes. These are called channel nodes, and this is basically saying, hey, here's my resolution. Here's my depth, so that's whether it's 16-bit, 8-bit, or 32-bit. And here's my color space. Export me. So if I want to preview the actual map as it's being viewed, I just click 1 on this, and that's the map that gets exported. But then this is really hard to work with, so I can just add a grade node afterwards. And I don't have to worry about turning this off whenever I export, because it's happening after the export. It's a very, very flexible kind of setup. There we go, that's better. Although I might make it a bit darker. And more saturated, I guess. Cool. Yeah, so we do need to spend a little bit of time cleaning this stuff up, but for now, let's pull this down. This is our coat disp down here. Got our stitch masks. I can remove stitch test now. I can copy paste this guy and look for a new map, which I'm just going to go here. ISO, coat, elbow, patches. Like that. That's the name of it. Coat, elbow, patches. Yep. Cool. This might work better for us. I've missed the S, but that's fine. Let's add it now. Cool. This guy won't set to 0. Just put that to 0. Add 1 at this guy. So now we got to decide, do we want to keep with the subtlety? Because like the main ref again doesn't have these stitch marks. It has these darker lines here, but it's hard to tell if that's coming from shape or not. I am aware that's mirrored, by the way. Our actual meth we're modeling from is this one, which also can't be entirely matched to. So we're just kind of doing other stuff. But I say it can't be matched just because like things like the angle between these two wouldn't create this upwards arch. It would change to a more downward one, just because that's how perspective is. So it's kind of an impossible shape to get both of these at the same time. So we've matched side view mostly. But yeah, so this might work, I think. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think I should go for the more bold ones or this softer version? I think the softer one works better for me. Okay, that works for me. So another type of map we're going to have to paint at some point is like memory folds and stuff, which I kind of want to do now as well. Let me look for memory folds. I'm also going to go into textures.com. See if they have anything for memory folds. Yeah, stuff like this is what we want. Sheet wrinkles. Now, how strong this is will vary quite a lot because our fabric is quite thick, so we wouldn't really get it in the way that these have it. But I think adding this is still going to help us. That one's what height? Okay. Don't want normals, don't want roughness or albedo. It feels a bit intense now, does it not? $512, that's fine if it's going to get tiled. Yeah, I'll grab this. So, just download that. Where are you? Set on my asset library. Asset library. Cloth table maps. That's my stuff though. I need to actually really clean up my asset library because currently it's kind of shit. I guess we'll make one for textures.com. Like that. Cloth. Wrinkles. There we go. So we'll bring that into Mari. I guess we'll call this one a disp channel, right? So let's create a new channel. Disp coat memory folds. I feel like we want 4K for this one. Okay, so we're just going to do a merge. Create a bottom transparency. Bottom transparency. And then create a tiled node. Projects, personal. Oh no. Asset library. Textures.com. I didn't check the oh, that's SRB. I don't know if that's correct. I think it's already set to raw, right? It's really to fix if it's not. Set to 2 and U to 2. It seems no. Do we have a triplanar? We do. So that's a utility raw. See, I'm trying to tell if we're seeing through that. Okay, we're going to do a position multiply vector. Okay, let's do 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. And technically, it's like doing it like this is horseshit, but a bit too much blending. Set these all to 0.5. I think I preferred what I was getting from this guy, honestly. I can always paint maps between. Okay, so let's delete these guys. So do we just call this disp memory folds rather than coat? Because I feel like we can use this on the other ones. That's always in there. I just saw that you just sent that through. I really need to fix that. Let's see. Yeah, so like The soft one, I don't know, to me the soft one just feels a bit different. I'm not sure how to say it. God, this is gonna produce some issues. Let's say 3 by 3. I think that's the best we've got. So let's save that out. And then we can paint over areas that need it. For now, we'll commit to disk coat memory folds. Okay. Memory folds. Disk. So we'll have to play about with the layering of these later, but I'm wondering, I can probably get rid of a few of these soon. So we're on layer 5 now. If we can see, I guess we kind of want those. Disp, stitches. Stitches should be the last one really, but well, for now just add memory folds. Up here. In fact, no, let's actually do it correctly. So, let's connect you to you, and connect you to you. Okay, so we'll copy all the settings, stitches, 0.2, which I'm going to increase to 0.3, and then set this to plus. Okay, so that's that one set. Now we can set this to 1 to memory folds. Like that. We're going to need to create a range node to offset this. Which is what you're doing. So let's just create the same range node for this guy. Range. Coat. Memory folds. Okay, there we go. And let's just set this for now something way too high. Set that to like, I don't know, 1. Hit save. Hit that. It'll probably look quite funky, but I just want to see what it looks like first. Then again, we can paint over areas that we want specific effects for. We can even sculpt as well. Like, there's nothing stopping us from doing this in ZDisp. Memory folds are kind of satisfying to sculpt. It's just damn standard a few times. There's a video of Outgang doing it quite nicely. But then Laura is just a god of all things cloth, to be honest. Yeah, so I expected it to be too strong. Let's just see how it plays out. Okay. Wonder if I should extract the memory folds from this. Let's do a high pass filter. Yeah, because we're getting quite a lot of bump from this. I'm not sure I want all of that. Helps a lot though. But it makes it feel too much like a duvet. I like this stuff though again though. No, we don't want that. Let's just do a high pass filter. So read feel like I need to start putting stuff in there really. Okay, open that. Cool. Create a blur. And merge. We're going to shuffle that to have a solid alpha. Merge difference. Where is it? That's not really what I expected, is it? Oh wait, yeah, because I need to plus it. Merge. Okay, set this to plus. How big is this? 512 by 512. Nah, we'll keep it as is. Still set this to be weaker as well. Yeah, let's make it a lot weaker actually. Make the colour of these brighter too. So back to you. Parameters, memory folds, let's half it. Then back to the colour. I need to space all this out a bit more, don't I? Okay, so back to this guy. I look forward to adding Groom. You start to really get a lot of cool stuff coming in when you start adding Groom. Let's have a quick bit of fun with something here. Projects, personal, owner, texturing, publish. That's how many maps we have so far. We still got so much farther to go. Okay, let's take that a lot more saturated. Let's go like shit. Cancel. So it's like 0.9 maybe. There we go. Hit okay on that. Okay. Stitch hole. Cool. If it's better. Wait a second. Reset to plus. Okay, I'll kick that off again. Right, okay. So, elbow pad's the next thing we need to work on, right? Scene graph. Well, at least get some elbow pads in there. We don't need to actually get them working. What are the perks of applying fabric details in this way as opposed to ZBrush? So, you're watching, actually, the benefits. I can keep going back and forth really quickly. So for example, when I was changing how deep the stitches go, or how far the stitches come out, I just change a value, then hit render. I don't have to go into ZBrush, change a layer strength, then re-export all the maps entirely. I can also disable and re-enable layers whenever I feel like it. There's a tendency for a lot of people, and I was one of them for a long time, to just try to do everything in one map, and the more I work on stuff, the more I realize that you're just not going to get that to look that good. Like, you can, but the amount of work and raw talent it takes is something I just don't have. So if I do it in separate maps, I can, you know, push the detail and push the quality just really, really iteratively a lot quicker than if I did it all in one map. I quite like the process of using a single map. Perfect. Let's go to test cam. Okay, we're going to have to... In fact, actually... Let's undo that. Can we just... like, rotate everything? Let's find out. Let's do a transform. Like this one. But we're going to set this to... let's say 180, and this will rotate the geo group in its entirety. I don't know how this will work. I don't know how this will work with the Grim. Let's find out. Is flexible, non-destructive, right? Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know if you sent that earlier, but it's only just come through on my screen. Yeah, non-destructive workflows are the way to go. Like in work, and this applies to, I think, all VFX studios, texturing just throw maps at you. Like, you get like masks, like ISO maps for basically everything, with different variations, different follows and stuff. And then in LookDev, you can just plug them in however works, and it gives you so much flexibility that you can basically match anything. It really is like the way to work. And again, because of the way that Mari works, because of the way that Mari works, I can just super quickly throw on. Another layer within Mari itself, so I can still work that like iterative workflow in here. Granted, then you got to deal with the export times, so I still would keep some stuff separate, but yeah, it's really, really flexy. Let's get to the normals pass. Okay. So I'm just going to go in to that material. Layer 4 is going to be our color for... I will put this into mix. Elbow pad color. Stitch. Hole. Cool. Got some discs coming through here. Why is that going through there, actually? Nice chat with Sculpt. But that's not current me's problem, that's future me's problem. I was need to get rid of this stuff in the Z-disp. That's the thing, because I do have geometry for these elbow pads, but it's just if I'm going to do those stitches, as I said earlier, I kind of need this to be in its own thing. Like, have them in their own layer. Just see how this works. There we go. It's pretty close to where the original was. Yes, that's blending currently, so what we need to do now is also plug it into disp, which we can do by just adding it down here. Layer 7. We need to add multiple layers to this, but let's add that to input 7. Put this back to there. Create a dot node. Trying to remember how to add multiple dot nodes. No, not dot product, just dot. Come on. Can I not just create a connection there, please? What is going on? Why have I forgotten how to use dot nodes? Alright, let's just leave that there for now. Putting effort into making Foundry regret giving me these licenses. Alright, so we got that. Let's just make sure that's set correctly. Let's go here. Elbow patches. I'm going to set that to plus. Set you to 0.2. And all we're going to do is create a range here. Plug you in too. I'm just going to gamma this, or bias it I guess, really heavily this way. And set our input max to like 0.5. It won't be a perfectly clean edge, but it will tighten it up quite a lot. And that means our disp broadly matches the elbow patch while also, you know, still coloring the edges that are displacing. Is this model for animation or still images? Technically, it's just for still images. Technically. We need to bias it, don't we? Okay. Let's put the same range node in. Gonna boost that bias a little bit. So technically, yeah, this model is made for still images. Like, I'm not going to be animating it myself. However, I've tried to build this model to be animatable. Like, it's on the high end in terms of polygons. I've worked with heavier, but it's definitely on that upper end of like what you'd be willing to do. And what do you want to call it? It would be usable, but not necessarily the quickest. I'd need like a really good rigger to make this thing performant. Granted, there are tricks to making models more performant for rigging. You can make lower res versions that just give the animator a general idea, then unhide the rigged version. It should be working. Looks like it's worked. So now I can set the deepness of that. See how this samples out. Okay, let's go to our disp. So that's a 0.1. Probably won't be streaming late tonight, by the way. Just because my last few streams have been quite long, and my only intention for the stream was to figure out the my intention in the stream was to figure out the stitches, which we did. Hey Victoria, will we be creating a simple rig to pose her, or we're doing ZBrush? I'll make a simple rig. Currently, the plan in terms of the scene is to make a basic version of this environment, potentially full complexity. I'm not sure yet. I still need to do the backpack and all the props for it, but obviously the character itself is way off finishing yet too. The backpack's going to require us to set up some kind of cloth sim, so it can interact with the clothing. Oh, we can just sculpt for the clothing, but I'd rather not. And then other than that, should be pretty quick from there. But yeah, the environment's just a ton of like fairly simple props. Really excited to do this axolotl, but he's fun. I'm wondering if I'm going to regret the approach I'm taking to the elbow pads. Still wondering where this came from. Okay, so that's that working. We need to line up the elbow pads where the modelled versions were. Also, kind of need to add stitch lines to this guy. Doing that will require us to actually have a final position for it though, so we'll leave that until the end. If we stay with this mapped version. Which we may not have to, I'm not sure yet. Got shit to figure out. Actually can't see the seam in the memory folds. It's not clearly. Anyway, let's move that over there. Okay, it's working well enough. Let's just move it over. Okay, so back to here. Disable that. Turn everything back around. We need to get the trousers hooked up. So where's trousers? On the top. Temp cloth. Not enough coat materials for a moment. Oh, leggings. There we go. Okay, so we'll create a new layer RGBA. RGB. Against call. Base call. Okay. So we need to duplicate this guy probably. Okay, I was naming that channel again. Legging stripes. Oh yeah, I need to set the there we go. She's got the red stripe on the side of her trousers now. Okay. Something I need to check actually. I need to get some info regarding the undertop here. Wait, have I modeled it the wrong shape? It's way the wrong shape. Okay. How simple is the model? The model is quite simple. So we can just go in and do shit like this if we need to. Or I can just make it more realistic. And we do have some references that she sent me. There was one that's specifically of the top. Shit like this. I guess we can mimic this a bit more. Yeah, we'll need maybe we'll do something more like this where it's shinier at the bottom. This potato's kind of interesting actually. It's like featureless. And it's quite low res as well, but screw doing this. Like this is just intense. Any other images that feature what we might need? Nope. Okay, yeah. So these are our main refs then. Up here. I guess this and this are the two primary ones that I like. Kind of regret not doing this braided rope thing. These in general are really cool actually. The kind of like turn seam thing. Yeah, we'll isomap this. How did you find the artist? I'm on a Discord with her university. Just because I did some like guest talks there a while ago. And so I hang out, give the students like free feedback and stuff when they want it. Most of them don't, which is a bit frustrating, but you know, it's their stuff, they do what they want to do. But yeah, Katie's a ludicrously talented student. And just all around pleasant to work with, you know, from the experience I've had with her so far. So yeah, been kind of walking through the project with her, sending her stuff, getting opinions. Like, I'm trying to keep her quite involved with it, just kind of give her a bit of visibility as to how industry. Granted, this is a lot slower, but you know, like, how does a 3D artist like interpret concepts that she does? Like, she's getting a bit of insight as to like, oh hey, when I draw these sorts of lines, 3D artists have to do this, this, or this. So she's kind of like learning a little bit more of that 2D to 3D stuff from the 2D side. But yeah, that's how I found her. It's just through one of the pages. The tail of my character's too thick, isn't it? I'm already in that. Yeah, my tail's a bit too thick. It's really easy to thin out, so I'm not really too worried about that, but still need to fix the hands. Yeah, it's looking healthy. Okay, let's get on the close-up cam here. I had to rename my cameras at some point. There we go. But yeah, Katie's stuff is in the description, like if you want to follow her work. Really like when she does line work, the variety of line weight and stuff just really caught my attention. And you know, she's a second year student, so I'm just like very, very impressed by the kind of sensibility she, like, her art is quite mature in a way. Yeah, my tail's too thick. I'm going to need to thin that out quite a lot. It's also probably attaching too high, but we can kind of get away with that being a pose thing. The camera's a bit too close, isn't it? Yeah, let's switch back to the other camera. We'll do an end of stream render. Next stream will more than likely be tomorrow. Just because like my free time's kind of coming back now. Like, I've had time to kind of decompress after the projects. Yesterday was a bachelor party for a close friend of mine, so otherwise I would have streamed yesterday, but I was out all day. So yeah, my free time is finally back. I'm not having to plan people's birthdays and stuff anymore, and not crunching at work. So should be able to get back to a healthier kind of streaming schedule again, probably 2 or 3 nights a week on average. But yeah, we'll see how this render starts. In the meantime, what other ISOs do we know we'll need later? We can add one for this, I guess. Just going to create one of these. Go down here. This will be under top. Band? Under top band? I guess it'd be waistband, technically, kind of. What sort of specs are your PC? So this PC I'm going to upgrade probably in the next few months, but the current spec that I'm using is a Ryzen 3950X CPU, which is 16 core, 32 threads, it's hyper-threaded. 64 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, which is probably the main thing carrying this PC right now on this project. And another word. God, why am I struggling so much on words today? On the top band. And oh yeah, GPU. My GPU is a fuck's sake. My GPU is a RTX 2070 Super, which I bought with the express purpose of, like, you know, upgrading as soon as the 30 series came out, because the 30 series weren't that far away when I bought my PC. But it just ended up being the Scalpocalypse and all that stuff, so I never got around to upgrading. But I intend on, in the next few months, buying a PC with a bit more RAM, probably a 4090, and then CPU is kind of currently up in the air. But I'm really torn between getting like a the highest end like consumer CPU I can get, or if I start going for like middle of the range Threadripper, because I can't afford really to buy the top end Threadripper. It's just way too expensive. Like I'm not spending $8,000 on a CPU. But I could spend $3,000 on a CPU, I think, and it'd be a lot more powerful than what I've currently got. But the thing I've got, the problem I've got right now is that like I don't make money from my personal work. I get free stuff, that's nice, but I don't make money from it. So any like upgrades to my PC are more convenience. So I'm still kind of torn as to like, do I really want to spend this much money on just convenience? I kind of do, but like at the same time it kind of hurts at the same time. It does kind of hurt, not gonna lie. What the fuck is that? There we go. Okay, so under top, it's these guys. Okay, so we're just going to go into the shelf, go to the one brush, set this back to there. Okay, can probably go lower res actually. Let's down res this guy. Then go to under top band, resize, 1K. Generally speaking, you want your maps as low resolution as you can get them to be. So yeah, get something like this. That'll work for what we need. Let's get that exported. Okay. Quite a few people are joining the stream right now, so I'll keep streaming for a little bit longer, just so they've not joined to the end of the stream. And this has been a short one so far, so I can keep going for a little bit. I guess while there is some new people here, feel free to introduce yourselves. I don't bite. And if you have got any questions or anything you want to see in particular, then by all means ask. I'll try my best to help you. So one of the things I'm going to have to do at some point on this is, one, actually model this waistband so it's not just floating there, because currently it's not connecting, but also I need to add like slots or something in the main mesh to these plug into, so that it doesn't look like it's just kind of intersecting. Kind of way how the tail's got like a hole in the trousers to go through. So that's that working. Okay. Still trying to figure out as well when to start adding fuzz. Like clothing fuzz. If I was using Yeti, I'd have already done it. But I'm not using Yeti. So I'm still very unsure. Yeah, it's kind of gross. Let's check spec. I think sheen comes under spec, so it's all going to show up. Okay. What am I missing from this area? Oh, we have the extra thickness. Okay, that's another thing we need to add at some point. That's something that's very easy to add, but let's see, which one's the UV seam? Right there. So I'd need to add a loop right there and just inflate it out, wouldn't I? Which I can do. Nothing's stopping me. If it's a temp thing. Let's add a loop. Let's cut. Put it right there. The edge flow. Bevel edges. 32 segments. Whenever you do bevels, definitely recommend setting the segments to 2 if you're beveling UV line. Just because UV lines get maintained if you have bevel edges set to 2, or segments set to 2. Something like that. That'll work. So let's quickly select our entire group again. Outliner, Trimona. I love watching vids and streams of people modeling texturing. I'm currently learning how to do stuff like this, so it's cool to see stuff like that. Yeah, it's really great, man. Don't know what happened to my voice just there. But yeah, no, it's part of the reasons I stream, and again, part of is the reasons I stream, is to kind of help people who are new to all this. Because one thing I'm acutely aware of, and this isn't me saying like my stuff is perfect, it's really not. Like my workflow can be quite messy, and I'm very upfront about that when I'm streaming. But there's a lot of really bad art out there, and that's not hating on the artists. It's just like the cross section between highly talented artists and artists who post their work, like their process, online isn't that big of an overlap. There's a lot of artists who put their stuff online, but they're still learning, and that's completely fine. That's healthy. But there's not enough of the guys who have been doing it for a while. I don't put myself in the top category of that. I really don't. Like, I'm a professional. I'm a senior, but you know, there's a lot of people out there who are way better at this than I am. But there's not many that post their actual like unfiltered work. Most of the stuff that you do find online that is from like top level artists, stuff like Jay Hill or Tom Newbury, their stuff is either behind a paywall or is edited, and that's also a great type of content. Like Tom Newbury's stuff is incredible, honestly. I watch a lot of his stuff to kind of learn tricks and tips. But it's again like they're in an insane level, but you don't get to see like their unfiltered workflow. I guess in Tom Newbury's case you do, but it's behind paywalls and stuff. So I like to kind of put some resource out there for people that's like a little bit more, transparent. Is like, hey, this shit's not easy. I make mistakes all the time, and you can see me make mistakes. The output, might look good to you, but you can see that professionals don't just do it and have everything work all the time. Like, we also have to struggle through it. To me, that feels like something I would have wanted to see when I was a student. Like, so I remember looking at professionals and putting them on this big pedestal as like, oh my god, they must really know what they're doing. It's like, when you join the industry, you realize pros make mistakes all the time too. They get a bit more nuanced. The mistakes we make aren't as fundamental, but they still are there. But yeah, so I hope that has been kind of helpful for you. So let's kill this render. Oh, it's already killed. Okay, so let's hit that. So Zaneo, are you a student right now, or are you more of like a hobbyist, or like what is it you're working towards exactly? Do you want to be in the industry, VFX, animation, games even? Or hell, previs. Previs is a pretty decent way in as well. Very fast paced, but it's pretty decent still. There we go. I just finished school. I would love to do animation, but currently making a game with my brother. Oh, cool. So if you say finish school, you finished like high school, college? Did you study an art or like 3D class? Or do you mean like I don't know what country you're in, but did you like just finish a school where like it's compulsory, like everyone does like chemistry, physics, maths? Or did you just finish a specialist school? Okay, feel like we're going to need a nicer map for this stuff as well. Although, to be fair, I could probably do a colour map for a lot of that too. I need to get like a generic kind of breakup in the colours. Even if I do like a mask that's like for cavity and a mask for areas that be like sun bleached. I don't know how long she's been wearing this coat for, but stuff like that would be good to figure out. I can add a dirt material on top as well, which would be nice. Just in case of figuring out where the dirt material goes. Just finished grade 12. Ah, okay, so yeah, finished like kind of normal school. Going to do an art course next year, trying to get a degree in something. Nice. Oh, that's really great. Do you have any idea what you want to do in university, or like which university you want to go to? Or are you still kind of up in the air about that stuff? Which is, by the way, completely fine to not know. I remember being super stressed when I finished like college, because basically I'm in this by accident. Like, I completely fucked up. I kind of drifted through high school, which I guess you're calling grade 12. Although for us it's year 11 in the UK. But I finished that at like age 16. Didn't really know what to do. Went to a college that, you know, just happened to do chemistry, physics, and maths, like really basic. Well, I say basic, not basic in terms of difficulty, but basic in terms of like choice, like if you don't know what to do. They open a lot of doors. Did those, failed miserably, and had no idea what to do. The only reason I do CG is because my best friend, a guy called Dale, joined this like random games course, and I was like, oh hey, I like video games, so I'll go do that with him. And then, you know, 10 years later, almost 11 years later, I live in Canada, do it for a living. It's really weird. But yeah, so I always like to stress to students and people who are young, it's like, hey, like, it's completely okay to not know what you want to do yet. Like, it doesn't work out for everyone, but it can, and making the wrong choice in the heat of the moment is not necessarily the best way to go about things, in my opinion. Doing research on things to figure out what you want to do. That's fair. So, like, are you currently looking at doing, like, oh, am I going to do, like, animation, like, courses, and picking between those? Or are you more like, hey, you know, do I want to do engineering, or do I want to do chemistry, or, you know, stuff like that? Is it still, like, quite broad as to, like, picking what you want to do with your life? Do I need to get some stitches at the top? I feel like I do. Some up here. Either way, it's all working. Need to fix this. This worked rather well, actually. I need to do another sculpt pass. I also still need to work with the zip to kind of move things back a little bit. I might do something art related, whether it's animation or graphic design. That's good. You got it more narrowed down than I had. Yeah, no, take your time on decisions like that. You know, there's a lot of people out there who take like gap years and stuff that can be quite helpful. Again, no, I've not got life figured out. Like, you know, do what you feel is right for you. Yeah, definitely need to get this. I might quickly throw something on there now. Yeah, let's do it. So, just think for a moment. Yeah, okay, let's do that. So what I'm going to do, let's go into the clothing materials. Copy this guy, paste him. I'm going to start the save. So under top band. So under top band. Get this guy in there. Yeah, I wish you all the best in luck, Zaneo. It's not necessarily the easiest time to be in, so yeah, hopefully things all work out for you. You'll make the right decision for you. There we go. Right, so for now, I'm going to plug that into display so nothing. So I kind of want to have like a vertical, like, God, what's the name of it? Corduroy. Not corduroy specifically, but, like, oh, SK. This is very helpful. Those edited ones make 3D look easy and fast. Yeah, 3D is not easy and fast. Takes a really long time. I don't know if SK you're watching quite a bit further back in the stream. You may not be at the latest point. So yeah, if you're wondering, if you're sending messages through and wondering why the hell I'm not replying, it's because you're messaging from the past. I'm 7 minutes behind, lol. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, the edited ones really do make things look a bit too easy. And that's one of the reasons I don't like doing edited stuff. And I'm not going to lie, most of it is because of laziness. I don't want to spend my time making all that stuff, but let's see. Ramp float. Oh. Let's see here. Let's go with a U ramp. Can you please just let me add a point? Okay, I guess we're not using that. Let's do ramp RGB instead. So this is going to be a U ramp on texture UVs. Well, technically it shouldn't be texture UVs. Pretty specific question, but have you seen many good examples of grooms rendered in Unreal Engine 5? Hoping to render my final year short in UE5, but I also want to feature some groom work. So I haven't seen specifically Unreal Engine 5, but groom, you can render it in Unreal relatively well. I'm trying to think of good examples. I mean, obviously, like the Matrix demo that was done was quite good. The Keanu Reeves that you made for that had really nice groom rendering. The problem with Unreal and its groom rendering is that there's a bunch of hidden settings that you have to run from the God, what's the name of it? It's like a commands thing in the bottom right. And I honestly not entirely sure I remember what the names of those were. So I'm not going to be much help on that, I'm afraid. But let me see. I'm going to set it back to 0. HSV, set it to 0. Okay, you're set to 1, right? Yep. Okay. These are all set to linear, I believe. So now we can do a range. We want to bias this so that the black areas are tighter, which we can do by just biasing positively. So let's do 7.5. Then create a UV transform. Set this to be the pass-through, which I don't know why it's called that. Honestly, I'm still not entirely sure how you're supposed to use these. UV modifier. So we just want wrap, that's fine. Transform. I don't think we need to transform it. Although, I guess actually we do need to still put that in there. Texture, UVs. But yeah, so fallow hide. Let me have a quick look at ArtStation. Unreal Engine Groom. Nothing. Oh, there we go. Okay. Of course, Omar comes up first. Omar does quite a lot of decent quality stuff online. It depends on what quality you're going for. Like this looks pretty decent as a whole. There's a few issues into like, you know, the thickness of hairs and stuff, but that could be stylistic. The way you want to present your project may vary. Although if you're doing real time, it could be more advantageous to look into cards, potentially. That is your call, not mine. But that's generally the way that people go. Because I've only ever done one groom for real time. There's a VTuber. God, what's her name? Angel. What's her name? Angel. VTuber. Yeah, AI Angel. So I made a groom for this YouTube channel. But they handled all the... God damn it, they ended up doing... Of course they did. I really don't like when people do channels with this sort of stuff, but I made a groom for it about 2 years ago, so these were like what it was looking like at the time. I think there we go. So they use Unreal, I believe. But I made the basic groom for them a while ago. So you can get decent enough stuff out of it. I have no idea if this is safe for work actually, so I'm going to click off that. Funnily enough, I actually had no idea it was for a VTuber channel. I was just reached out to and they asked me to do a groom based on the concept. And I found out like months later it was for a YouTube channel by like randomly stumbling across them. Which I wasn't entirely sure I was comfortable with, to be honest, but it is what it is. Yeah, there'll be real-time like hair stuff in here somewhere. This is All Natrix. All Natrix actually lets you groom directly in Unreal as far as I'm aware now. So it could be worth looking into All Natrix too. Right, okay, so... I got lost. What was I doing again? Oh yeah, I was doing this. So we want to scale the frame. Let's go 0.1. In fact, let's go 0.01. I'm gonna set this to add. So let's do what would be the word for this? Let's just call it band. Okay, layer 4. Just gonna grab the mix, plug that into that. Then plug this into the input. Plus. Okay, there we go. This is going to be way too strong, but in theory, will look the way we want it to. So let's just do that. Well, it won't look the way we want it to, but it will have the general shapes that we want it to. There we go. But does it work? That's the question. Looks like it does. Thinking about it, we may actually want to displace in and out. I think we do actually, yeah, okay. So let's go back. So I think I like this. We just need to do a range on all this stuff, so let's do a new range. In fact, can I don't know when this bias is applied. I'm going to assume it's 0.5. I'm going to assume the bias is done after input, and then it does all this stuff, and then it ramps it to that. So we can delete this guy. And we can change the actual strength of him. So, oh, the mix. Okay, so I need to multiply. Okay. Multiply, and we'll set you to 0.1. And we'll rename all this stuff once we get a thing. I guess band elastic would have worked as a name, but let's displace this region right here. And while that's cooking, just go into the catalog, go to here, plug you in. That just means that when it renders that region, it will just overwrite that section there. What's going on over here? Oh, okay. Wait, no, that can't be right. Oh, it is. Okay. Oh, surprisingly well, actually. Well, yeah, shockingly well. Okay, I'm happy with that. We will want some kind of tuck above that to like help it sit. I might make it a little bit more narrow too. So to make it more narrow, we're just going to reduce this. Let's half it again. See what it looks like. Feels a bit more in line with what I wanted. Granted, I'm going quite far away from the ref, but I feel like adding this sort of stuff really, like, to me, it feels quite nice to do. What's this over here? Something funky. Yeah, it's actually getting warped. The hell? I can't dig it, honestly, but like, why is it doing that? Did it have that before? It does not. How's that coming from? I kind of like it, but I want to know where it's coming from. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of gross. very confused by this, but okay. Okay, let's kill that. We need to get the over displacement in there, so let's just go into here. Set this to wrinkles, or memory folds even. Okay, set this to plus 0.1, I think it was. I'm just going to plug that into number 5. And it's coat memory folds that has it. And it will have exported for everything else, so let's just do this. I can rename it later if I need to. Which I probably will. Rename it later if I need to. Which I probably will. Okay, and what is this set to? Oh wait, yeah, I need that there. Okay. Folds 0.1, yeah, okay. So I might change the name from disp coat memory folds to just disp memory folds. And I can use it wherever I want, and I'll make a map for like memory fold strength. Just multiply it all with, so I can like reduce it on certain parts of the cloth, or Jesus, that's a bit strong. Did I just forget to change it? I did, yeah. 1.1. Just instantly feels so much more organic when you add that stuff. But yeah, we'll need to add a lot more color variation in stitches and deeper deeper spots for the seams as well. But I think that's going to be me for tonight. Let's do an end of stream render. That's like everything else plugged in. Kind of debating breaking some of these into their own nodes, as in like their own, rather than clothing materials network. I have like coat network material to kind of do everything, like keep it a bit neater, because this is getting a bit stretched now, like horizontal, vertically even. There's a lot of stuff going on now. Yeah, maybe even the shoes. Like, there's so much going on for the shoes there. Like, All that is shoe materials. Either way, I'm going to close PRF. Start getting all this stuff stepped back. I need to turn that off. Wonder how many things I've painted through so far. Yeah, so let's get that saved. Close. Archive that. It's been a great stream. I look forward to seeing more men later. That's great. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, well, I'll be streaming tomorrow, probably after work. Which I imagine will be the same time-ish today, maybe a little bit earlier. Because I finish work at 6 PM. I'll probably want to take like an hour just to go on a walk. I don't like being in the house, like sat in the same chair all day. So maybe like start at 7 PM or something tomorrow. 7 PM EST, by the way. And then work for 2-3 hours. Tuesday I've already got plans for. I've got ice skating lessons on Tuesday. I don't need to go into publish. Mari, archives. Number 4, let's go for. That does thing for a bit. Maya we can kill, although I am going to alt save my scene because we've got this in there now. Next stream I might work on the hair again. Okay, that does thing. But yeah, so if you guys are new to the stream, in the description there's a link to a Discord and stuff. I'll put this render in there when I'm done, basically. So if you guys have questions or send in your own work, by all means use that Discord. You'll have to validate your Discord when you go in, but there's a verification channel in there for you. It will walk you through it. It's just to kind of prevent bots and stuff in the Discord. But yeah, we got a few people in there who are quite active, which is really helpful. But yeah, by all means drop by. If not, that's also fine. But I'll probably be streaming tomorrow. If not, it'll be Wednesday. And yeah, that's kind of everything. So I'll put this render in there as soon as it's clean, and then I'm going to go play some video games. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed or learned something. By all means, feel free to send in any other questions if I didn't answer anything correctly, or you didn't get to ask. And yeah, anyway, enjoy the rest of your night. I'm going to stop babbling now. Have a good one, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.